Commander, hail Ming approaching.
What do you mean, Hail Ming approaching?
War rocket Ajax is on our screen and heading right for us.
Secure all posts. Raise all shields. Fire all lasers. Cue the music.
Welcome back, Hail Ming Power Hour listeners. We're hoping that you're having a good time out there and you're staying safe. And to help you stay safe and entertained, we are ready with another movie for you. Can you believe it, Rick?
Yes, I can. Because that's kind of what we do here, right?
It is. I just can't believe that we're getting on it so many times in a row here. I mean, it's just kind of crazy. It's like the olden times.
Yeah, we've gone from, once every 2 or 3 months to once every other week, looking like. So, hey, yeah, kind of a return to form, I guess.
Yeah, it sounds good. I mean, I'm ready to do it. I'm been fighting trim, ready to take this out, and I'm really, really excited about this week's movie.
Heck yeah.
I thought I was excited about last movie, but this one is the one that really stood the test of time. And I'm excited to sell this to everybody because I'm sure that once we're done, everybody's going to run out and watch it because they really should.
100% agreed.
So, I mean, without any further ado, I mean, we're talking about Robocop, the original. I don't know anything about the remake.
Robocop! Yes!
Do you know anything about the remake? Did you see it?
I did see it.
Yeah? What do you think?
That's what I remember about it. It's one of those, it's all right.
Yeah, it seems like they were like, well, these movies will be better now that we have good effects, and something about them just doesn't have the concrete base that makes them stand up and keep their longevity. It's just more or less a flash in the pan, and everybody watches them and says, yeah, that was okay. But Robocop, man.
It was a decent remake, but just like every time we kind of see a remake, it's missing that heart and soul, or even maybe the grittiness that this one has, that, it's just missing that element. It's a shame because, we've got the ability to really make effects look a whole lot better, but you're just lacking that heart and soul. Yeah,
it's true. And, I'm sure they didn't bother to stick with the original soundtrack. And halfway through this, I'm like, Basil Polidoris, man. He makes a movie. I'm excited about this. You're going to be excited by the end of this episode, I'm sure of it. And unfortunately, we can't do it without funds. So I've been out hitting the streets looking for sponsors. Have you been doing the same, Rick?
Yeah, to a degree. We can't really hit the streets right now because, quarantine and all, but you do what you can. And in these struggling times, you come up with desperate needs. So we're still able to come up with a little funding. But what did you find?
Well, struggling times call for desperate needs. I'm going to stick with that. That's like a Frank Drebin quote right there. That's awesome. And I mean that. I'm not making fun of you. I like it. I was able to find one. And they gave me a little run up here. It goes, do you like spicy chicken? How about spiritual awareness? We'll sit down and enjoy both in our spacious meditation and dining area. Where can you find both of this, you ask? Well, you can find it at a Wing and a Prayer, spicy chicken, and spiritual enlightenment.
That's good. I like that. Where's that at? Is that,
come on
is
down
that downtown?
for a wing and a prayer.
Is that downtown Nashville or
Yes.
next to the Rice Bowl too?
They're soon to be all over the place, man. Lord willing, we'll have a wing and a prayer around here.
Well, being the entrepreneur that I am.
What?
Wait a minute. Yeah, let me get that.
Hail Ming.
Sorry, my buttons were covered up. Bet you never heard me say that before.
Oh.
I decided to start my own business. For the people that do know me, you know that I pretty much live with a female Grizzly Adams. We've got so many animals, it's ridiculous. And just in the past couple of years, we ended up with 9 donkeys. And through the necessity of keeping them donkeys warm, we decided to start our own business, and that's Morgan's Donkey Blankets. And right now, our slogan that we're using is "Cover Your Ass."
Keep them donkeys warm.
Yes,
It's the only song I ever did sing as a kid.
keep them donkeys warm.
Well, okay. So, any more sponsors? I do.
I got one more.
Oh, what? You got 2?
I got one more. Yes.
We can afford
well,
some
this
more.
one-
Whatever it is we buy.
The internet is a powerful weapon. So being that you can't go out and go door to door without them saying you have to go through the drive-through. Ironically, this one you can go through the drive-through, and it is also downtown Nashville. And it's our good buddy Bo Ransdale has started a business to get into these tough times, and that's Bo Ransdale's Meat Market. If you guys all know Bo, I mean he knows what he's doing. And a good-hearted fella, and glad that he's kind of venturing out and just trying to make ends meet, make meat, I guess. But that's Bo Ransdale's Meat Market, where his slogan is, "You can beat our prices, but you can't beat our meat."
Oh, Bo, you delightful, charming young man. Wow. I'm excited. I'm going to go there, right after I meditate a little bit and have some hot wings.
Absolutely.
So, if that's it for sponsors, I think we need to get into, the next segment here.
Which is?
Well, what did you watch?
What did you watch? What did you watch? Played the right one this time.
It's always the right one.
What did you watch? Did you watch stuff?
By the way, I think we are to, for all of our fans out there, if you want to sponsor the show, we can put together a Hail Ming album of the songs that we've come up with and sell that to you for $29.99. And that'll help keep this show going.
Is that really okay with, Legion and uncopywritten materials and all that stuff?
Well, it's, sure. Till cop didn't see it, I didn't do it.
Legit. I'm on board. I feel like I'm not excited enough. And I should be, because you know what I watched?
What?
I got to watch this movie. Okay, it's about the 3 postal workers who find themselves forced to take care of their dying grandma's recipe for this cooking sauce. Right, on her deathbed, she hands this recipe over, and these 3 postmen have to keep it away from these industrialists. But the real twist happens when they try and make it in the kitchen, and it comes to life. This cooking sauce overtakes them, and it starts to attack the town, and they have to find the remedy to bring it down, old grandma style. And just hijinks ensue. The 3 guys are real funny. I totally recommend this movie. It's called 3 Mailmen and a Gravy. I'm out.
It's one of those that I'm riding along with you. I'm like, all right, this is going. All right, we're getting some detail. Sudden
I don't
stop.
blame you. Maybe not a ride you want to come along with me, but hey,
3 mailmen and the gravy.
3
that what-
mailmen and a gravy.
Okay, 3 men.
Coming soon on Hulu. 2.
Of course,
Hulu the sequel.
Hulu 2. All right. Well, you know me. I'm always talking about these documentaries, and I found
Man, you
another
are a
good one.
documentary addict.
So this one, it's a documentary about film legend Jane Fonda, and her endeavors, through the greatness of her career, saving up her money, and she buys a private island that is named Goat, due to the claim of having the largest population of goats in the world. But the purchase wasn't just for that. The island of Goat is also responsible for the largest production of Brazil nuts as well. So Fonda walks you through the buying process and the naming of her own company to dominate the snack business, the snack business world that's out there. So if you get a chance, I recommend you check it out. It's on. You can check it on Amazon Prime, and it's tune into Jane Fonda's Goat Nuts.
Oh, damn you.
See, I was waiting for that punch that you had with yours, and, it was close. It was close.
I had to throw, I decided that I had to get out.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Well, okay. So,
is that it?
Anything else? I haven't watched anything else.
That's it for me, too. So that is the end for... What did you not watch?
Did you watch
All right. And I think it's time to take a short break.
The Hail Ming Power Hour is brought to you by D's Nuts. Trust D's for gourmet peanuts. And loyal subjects of Mongo like you. Hail Ming!
This is Bobby Brown for Bobby Brown's House Cleaning. During the coronavirus pandemic, we cannot legally enter your home to clean due to insurance policies and rules and regulations. So I'm here to announce our all-new Bobby Brown's House Cleaning app. That's right. Head over and download our app for a minimal fee of $3.50, and you can have me, Bobby Brown, tell you how to clean your own house up to our fine standards. Just enter a room and open the app. Press Living Room, and I will come on and tell you what to do just like this. Vacuum that floor, woman! You're messing up the carpet. Can't you do anything right? Or maybe even in the kitchen. Hey, don't track across my clean floor. Don't you hear good? Don't you talk back to me.
It's my prerogative.
I wouldn't do it to your clean floor. Or even in the bedroom. What are you doing? Don't you know how to fold a fitted sheet? Change the bed. I said change the bed, woman. In here on Dirty Sheets. Remember, go to the App Store and download the Bobby Brown House Cleaning app today. It's just like I'm there. Bobby Brown House Cleaning is a proud sponsor of the Hail Ming Power Hour.
All right, well, welcome back. Here we are again after the break that almost broke the bank, and I'm ready to talk some Robocop, so I think it might be time to go back to 1987. You think?
Well, we're going to do our synopsis first.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's an important part of this whole thing. I can't believe I didn't think about that.
Well, that's all right.
Who do we have to do a synopsis for us this week?
Well, again, we're returning to kind of the old school system here, and I was able to track down crappy Christopher Walken again.
Oh, man.
So here we go. Christopher Walken, Robocop.
Ow! Robocop, 1987. Action, crime, sci-fi. In a dystopic and crime-ridden Detroit, a terminally wounded cop returns to a force as a powerful cyborg haunted by submerged memories. It's got a classic book called Plain Geometry in the movie. You should look it up. Quotes in the movie are fantastic. Robocop's classic line, "Dead or alive, you're coming with me." And who can forget Murphy's line? Ow! 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 Oh! Oh! Ow! Oh! Fantastic, dramatic stuff. It's rated R for Red Foreman's the villain.
There you go. Krabby Christopher.
Thank you, Krabby Christopher. Appreciate that.
Oh. So yeah, it's time to jump into the time machine. You ready?
I'm ready. I'm excited about this.
What did we set the dial to? What year are we going to?
1987.
Oh, I had it on 86. So here we go, 87.
That would have been bad. We'd have been in the wrong year.
Oh, what's your arm?
Oh.
The blue air. This is taking longer than 1977.
I don't know how that can happen.
Hey, look, acid wash jeans.
Nice. Look around. It's just like I left it.
Look, there's a Bon Jovi shirt on the ground.
Yeah, where it belongs.
Right.
All right, so.
Don't let Lois hear you
Robocop.
say that.
Oh, well, she knows. But yeah, I'm not going to get into all that. But what I am going to get into is Robocop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you, Rick, what is the first reason for the people out there to check out Robocop?
Well, there have been remakes, there have been sequels, and to me, the thing that really holds this whole movie together is Peter Weller, man. If you take Peter Weller out of this, it's not successful. So you got the first two movies, Peter Weller, and you go to the third one, it's not Peter Weller, it stank like duty. You get the remake, it'll have no Peter Weller. Meh, right? I think Pete makes this thing happen, man.
You may be onto something there because you're right. That is a common thread of the successful Robocop movies. It's not the first thing I got.
Well, yeah. I was just trying to make a point out of you take Peter Weller out of the equation, and it's not as good.
I think what you're saying is that Peter Weller is Robocop.
Absolutely.
He's also Buckaroo Banzai.
Buckaroo himself, yes.
He showed up in the precinct wearing that Buckaroo Banzai shirt, man. Like geometric shapes, and
yeah,
he's all
wherever you go, there you are.
I'm here with the Hong Kong Cavaliers to join your police precinct because I'm Peter Weller.
That's right. So what you got?
My first reason is TV segments.
Oh yes.
They have them in RoboCop 2 as well. They're these commercials on the TV and they're news spots. And you know, anything written by Frank Miller is going to have news spots. And I'm balking at whether or not he wrote the first one, but I know he wrote the second. And they're just, you know, like slices of life, you know, little stories going on to kind of give you a backdrop of the whole world and what shape it's in. But they also have these commercials that are just hilarious. You know, they're just ridiculous products in this future that, you know, I know in the second one there's like a 6,000, you know, SPF sunscreen and right. Or maybe that's in that might actually be in another Verhoeven film, but in this one, you know, you got the 6,000 SUX, the great big car that everybody wants to buy. It's like a Cadillac. It's
it gets 8 miles a gallon.
Right. I mean, the commercials and stuff just, you know, they make it not quite so serious, even though it's extremely violent. I mean, this movie is hugely violent.
The news reports.
So violent.
I actually do have the top of a page that says movie opening. I love the fact that you kind of get this, you know, the camera just kind of swoops into a town, then it just says Robocop. There's no other introductions besides that. Robocop comes off the screen and it goes right to a news report. And you get, you know, the news of the time, and then it goes straight into the commercials. It's really setting up the whole story of what you're about to take in. And it really gives you a backdrop. You're dropped into the middle of a story, so there's not a build-up to it. And it's just, it's very creatively done.
Well, and you know, it begins and ends that way. I noticed, you know, it was like the last scene in the movie, and then boom, RoboCop. This is right there, and then the credits roll. Yeah. They didn't need to do anything super crafty. They were just, okay, we got the beginning, and then we got the end, and that's the movie.
Yeah.
I love it.
I do too. And it it's one of those that you don't go back and revisit a lot, but when you do, you're like, why have I not watched this again? Why did I wait so long? You said it earlier. This it really holds up, and there's a lot of factors of why. Like you said, Verhoeven directing. So there you go. Total Recall, Starship Troopers, all the other stuff he's done. Let's see, what was the other? Basic Instinct.
Showgirls.
Well, we're all doing
You
bad.
can't win them all.
But something that nobody really talks about is the gore factor of this movie. It's pretty gory, and who did the effects for this? Rob Bottin, same guy that did the Thing. He did the Howling. Special effects extraordinaire, and you never hear people really bring him up when you're talking about RoboCop, because I don't hear a lot of people talking about RoboCop, but if you're going to talk about special effects, this is your guy. And after seeing that and realizing, yes, that's who did these, you go, oh yeah, that's why when he gets his hand blown off, it looks pretty legit.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, you don't hear people talking about RoboCop all that much, but we're going to fix that.
Right, yeah.
Because, after this, they're all going to be, it's going to be all a buzz.
You gotta.
It's like you got that dude who gets that toxic waste. But we won't get ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah.
Talk about effects. That affected me. What's your next reason?
Well, come on, man. You got to go with the Ed 209.
Yes.
I mean, this machine, walking around, high tech of its time. We just had a conversation last episode about the ending of the Harryhausen stop motion thing, and this is where it takes a new life. You're actually using it for mechanical purposes, just like you used it in Terminator. So here you've got this big military cop style machine walking around, total stop motion. And come on, man, that scene when they bring it into that business or the conference room, and they're testing it with that dude, and it just unloads on him.
That boardroom is not a place I'd want to go spend any of my workday. That's for sure.
Again, it just really sets the tone for the kind of movie you're into. The Ed 209 is just iconic. It's just as iconic as RoboCop is. You don't see a picture of it and not know what it came from.
I agree. And, the Ed 209 and that opening sequence, it also shows you the brutality of the bad guys. It's funny that the bad guys in this aren't, there are street thugs and there are bank robbers and there are rapists and all that stuff. But the real bad guys are just people chasing the dollar. This guy gets gunned down in front of a whole boardroom of people, and they're like, look at all the money we wasted on this thing. Like that's how bad they are. It's not that they're, they're criminal. It's not that they're out committing crimes. It's that their bottom line is more important than human life.
I'm sure it's just a glitch.
Right. The guy who is like, hey, don't give up on me. This is going to be good. It's OCP, man. Omni Consumer Products.
Right.
They're the bad guy.
Yeah. I mean, so that's the trap that you get into is, the thugs on the street are bought out by these guys. So it's all just a vicious cycle of just trying to make the money. You got to have the chaos on the street to promote what it is you're trying to build, to get the army to support it and buy it. You hear these stories all the time, but, this is based in more of a, urban setting. So this movie is really kind of ageless, man. I mean, it's still hitting the buttons of things that we talk about in today's society. And just the grittiness of it. I mean, I know I'm kind of bouncing all over the place, but I'm really surprised at how well it holds up.
Hey, man, I mean, I guess you don't have to stay on target because we're just wandering around making sure everybody gets the high points. But yeah, I mean, the whole movie is a high point. Like you said, the plot is great. The acting's really good. You got Peter Weller. You got Nancy Allen.
Man, solid cast in this thing, man.
You got Red Foreman. I can't tell you his name.
Kurtwood Smith. Yeah, Kurtwood Smith.
He's not just Red Foreman either. I mean, that guy's a seasoned actor.
Although
they replaced him with Michael Ironsides for Total Recall, and it's pretty much the same dude, but
right.
Still.
Yeah, he's always Clarence Boddicker to me. I don't care what I see him in.
Well, he's really slick
Yeah.
as just kind of the crime boss. You know, he's willing to get his hands dirty, but he's also just so sleazy when he walks into somebody's office. Like, he's always in control. And Clarence Boddicker is definitely a reason to watch the movie. Whenever he's on the screen, he's chewing up the scenery.
Yep. Yep.
So I'll make that my next reason. It's Clarence Boddicker.
Amazingly enough, that was next on my list too. So,
Yeah. Well, you beat me to Ed 209, but absolutely.
well, like you said, every reason we're going to give is a top-notch reason, because there's not much that really doesn't falter in this movie. But again, I guess the only thing that did bother me that goes back to the Ed 209 is when it falls down the stairs and it's squealing like a pig.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. That's the only
They
thing
give
I
it-
was kind of like, yeah, could have done something better there.
They give it like a growl and stuff, and then like, you know, yeah, it's got this squeal that just doesn't really make sense. But
hey, on Flash Gordon, you hit those people in the back and they squeal like a pig, so I guess it just works.
squeal like a pig, Eddie.
Can you squeal like a pig, Bobby?
Can you fly, Bobby? Yeah, I got a whole list of just lines because we got to talking about lines in the movie, and it started with "Can you fly, Bobby?" which, you know, is a Clarence Boddicker line. Throw somebody out of van.
It's
Good stuff.
fantastic. So what you got? Or was that,
All right,
that was you, right? That was you, right? I'm sorry.
I think
You said
Clarence Boddicker was me, and then you came back with. You come back with something?
Well, no, I just kind of went back to Ed 209, but my next one is Miguel Ferrer, man. I mean, you know, here's a case of a guy that you like and hate all at the same time. You don't have Robocop coming around without him, but he's a sleazeball too, man. I mean, he's creating the super crime fighter, but he's also hanging out with, you know, two strippers in his room and snorting coke off their chest, you know.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, to go back to it as far as it goes, I mean, this was a top-notch film with a high budget, and there isn't a chump in the bunch when you go into the acting squad. You know, nobody in there is dropping the ball or an amateur. That the whole movie is done well, and yeah, to that point, Miguel Ferrer, man, he's always the guy you love to hate, always.
Yeah. So yeah, I just think he's just another piece of this puzzle that really makes you buy into it, and you kind of hate him and love him at the same time. You know, the scene where Clarence Boddicker shows up at his house and has the message from, you know, the other guy from OCP. Yeah, it's just fantastic. I mean,
Oh yeah.
the timed hand grenade. How about that? That's a step into the future. Hey, this hand grenade's actually got a timer on it.
Yeah, and well, you know, if only he had just been not shot in the legs, he might have gotten to it in time. But
Yeah.
he
That's
was.
thought out.
Spoiler
So, yeah.
alert: Miguel Ferrer dies.
All right, what you got?
But the prostitutes don't die because they were warned to leave.
That's right.
And if you've watched the movie, then you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't,
Yep.
then when you hear it, you'll know what I'm saying.
Clarence Boddicker walks in and politely says, "Ladies, you need to leave."
Yeah, that's right. Could you please take your leave of us now? It's
Hail
real
Ming.
classy, real classy.
Yeah, real classy.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it. If you're not gonna say it, I'm gonna say it. I'd buy that for $1.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Another
Go
one
ahead.
of the TV things that's going on is whenever they stop and watch a TV for a minute, there's this sitcom with this guy with this red mustache. He looks like a circus ringmaster, and he's always got these chicks wearing bikinis on screen with him, and you know they do something, and he says, "Well, I'd buy that for $1," and it's just, and everybody just laughs at it, and it's so weird.
It's kind of Benny Hillish, I guess, in a way. You
Yeah.
know, as far as, you know, because he's got the scantily dressed ladies around everywhere with this guy that obviously they would not be attracted to. You know.
Sure.
And yeah, I'm amazed with the whole idea of everybody being just fascinated with this show, because you've even got a scene where one guy's out on the street with Emil's out on the street, and he's standing there, and chaos is going on because they've pulled all the cops back. They're on strike, So just chaos is going on. They're tearing down buildings and stuff, and he's sitting outside trying to watch the TV show, and he can't hear it, so he busts out the glass of the shop so he can reach in and turn the sound up so he can hear the show. I mean, they are that obsessed with watching this show.
Yeah, and that's how lawless it becomes, because there's this whole backdrop of the cops are getting whacked every day, and so OCP's coming in with Robocop to try and take the edge off and help them do their job, and also make a ton of money.
Right.
Not to get too into the weeds, but that's why there's riots going on, and why nobody seems to care that they are.
Yeah, and that kind of pulls you into some of the stuff we're even seeing now. I mean, you see the youth saying, "Yeah, I don't care about all this. We're just gonna go party down at the beach." You've got situations here where people are running around doing whatever they want to do, and other people are just like don't even pay attention to what's going on. So it's very, very loose, and it works.
Yeah, it's Robocop, man. Can't go wrong.
So next on mine, it's the combination of Peter Weller's death scene, Murphy's death scene, and the rebirth scene. That whole section, man, from him being wiped out, flashes of memory, waking back up, and it's a video kind of screen. All the variations they're doing to him, taking off the arm, putting the mechanical arm. Man, I mean, what a staple for originality for movie making that really stands out here.
Next on my list too, man. Absolutely. I put it down as this could have been the not the first precursor, but a precursor to produced found footage stuff.
Sure.
Because the whole thing is you've got the perspective of this camera that's been installed in this guy. You're seeing it through his eyes. Everything around you is unscripted. The things that are going on are not part of the plot per se, but they're what you perceive and how you perceive it. Yeah, I remember I watched that and I was like, this is really good. Yeah, it flows really well, and you don't go, this is kind of boring. I mean, the pacing of that whole scene. It's just done really, really well. And bear in mind, this was 1987, so they very easily could have had a montage where he gets some robot arms, and it's like, go to the top, knock out the clouds, you can look into the sun, and then he'd get the gun.
You're not
and
a man, you're a robot.
That's right. He'd be shooting at the target and missing it, and they'd be like, oh, and they'd check a thing off the checklist, and then by the end, he's shooting the target every time,
Yeah, they give him a high five, and
Yeah.
Yeah!
Because
you're Frank Stallone to sing the song.
Robocop. Yeah. But they didn't do that. They did something much better. That's what I'm saying.
I agree. Yep.
But I might want to see that montage, come to think of it, now that it's in my head.
Maybe we can put that together as a skit.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. We're an audio show. It'd be hard to do.
You got to go to the top. Yeah. I don't know.
Robocop.
So yeah, I agree with you 100%. Like you get the video screen of Robocop as he's brought online, and all the scientists that are working on him and stuff. Well, to the point also where you got Miguel Ferrer come in, and they're like, we were able to save his arm, and he's like, get rid of it.
Yeah,
I don't want a guy with one regular arm. I want a robot cop.
Which is pretty interesting too, because in a lot of cases, that's what you would get. You would get a guy with one metal arm, one real arm, doing the whole, crossover, half man, half machine kind of thing. But, they made the right choice on the direction with this.
Like the Manborg.
The Manborg.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. Well, and that's another thing too, is when Miguel Ferrer comes in and says, lose the other arm. The other scientist is like, well, can he hear me? And they're like, yeah, we can wipe his memory. And the whole thing is, they didn't. Because if that were the case, then you wouldn't be on this journey with him, right?
Right.
You remember it because he remembers it. And if they had wiped his memory, then none of this would have even happened. Because you already feel like you're in his head.
Yeah.
Really well done.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, so that's mine. Death scene, rebirth scene. What you got?
That guy getting shot in the dick. RoboCop's on the prowl. There are two guys about to rape this girl, and he walks up and targets between her legs where her skirt's covering, but he knows where her legs are because he's RoboCop, and shoots that dude right in the dick. Don't miss it, people. Don't miss it, because it's it's something.
Ironically enough, the next thing I had was Robo's first night on the town. And it's very reminiscent to the first time Superman appears on the screen in the 78 Superman movie, because, he does 3 or 4 great feats in one night, but it's kind of set up that same way, because right after that, who is this guy on TV? He's half machine, he's half man, and helping save the community. It's very well set up, just like that whole scene where, all right, we've gone around and not shown you enough of him. You've just got glimpses of him walking down police hallways. Now we're turning it up. And like you said, going up and, the guy that's in the little grocery store at the beginning, when, that first night when he walks in and bends his gun barrel down, keeps him from shooting anymore, and then he clotheslines him. And then he, like you said, he shoots the rapist. And then you get, what's the other one? There's another one he does.
I don't know, but the music was going dun 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 dun. I don't know. I just watched it. Like, there's a lot of him breaking up crimes, so I don't remember exactly the whole order of things.
Doesn't he go to the club, and isn't this where he starts tracking down all the guys?
That happens a little later, because he goes and he sees the one guy from the gang, and that sparks him to go back and look them up. But that's after he's been on patrol for a while. Yeah, like I said, the whole thing moves so fast. It's hard to remember what happened. You remember what happened, but exactly how it rolled out, maybe not. Yeah.
I just remember that being very reminiscent to the whole setup of the Superman movie. It's like, I wonder if they kind of pulled from that idea of, we're going to give you several different scenarios of him going out and stopping crime, and then you're going to have the responses to that on the news and everything. It's set up very well.
Well, it kind of has the Dark Avenger thing to it too. Where, like near the end, he's got his downturn where everybody's after him, and he gets beat almost to the point of death, and then he has a showdown like Conan,
right?
Like Darkman. Like kind of he almost doesn't make it, and then manages to find his enemies and take care of them all at once. A big showdown. I mean, what's not to like about that? So far. Just to recap, we've got Peter Weller, we've got TV segments, we've got Ed 209, we've got Miguel Ferrer, we've got I'd Buy That for $1, we've got the RoboCop montage where he's coming back to life after being taken apart by a gang of thugs that cruelly shoot him piece by piece, and then he returns to life as a creation of OCP. We've got he shot that guy in the dick, and then we've got like the first night out. We're talking about that right now. First Night Out does all this crime fighting. It's good stuff.
So that was my next one. So yours is whatever you got next.
All right. Well, I do have some lines. Like "You're a move, creep." I've got a RoboCop T-shirt, and just like on the side it says "You're a move, creep." It's like real small. I love it. Well, the next thing on my list, I think I've already brought up, is Basil Polidorus, but I cannot stress it enough that this music just it's so epic.
It works, yeah.
When he busts down a door, or when he goes into that warehouse and starts killing people, it's just the music is just
That's what it was. He went into the governor's office where that guy was holding everybody hostage.
Oh yeah,
and he grabs that dude. That's fantastic.
Oh, and that guy, he's like, "And I want something it gets really bad gas mileage. How about a 6,000 SUX?" They're like negotiating with him on with a bullhorn.
That's the best.
Yeah, I like that guy too, because he's like, "And I want a recount, and no matter what the recount says, I want my job back."
Yeah,
yeah. That whole thing's good. And then he punches through the wall. And I think if you played the old RoboCop video game, that was actually one of the stages. Like, you went into a building and you had to punch through a wall and get the dude. It wasn't
he even had game. He had Predator weapons too, where he could do the thermal heat thing through the wall, where he could see where everybody was and all that stuff.
Yeah, he used that
cool,
all
man.
once. I mean, mostly
sorry.
he just walked around really slow and didn't get hurt by gunfire. Is his main
Right.
power, and he can shoot people like with real accuracy, which actually are two pretty good powers if you're a cop, I guess.
Sure. That's the name of the game.
It's like to protect and serve, and you know, and then just like kill a whole bunch of people.
So you were saying about the music.
Yeah. So really, I had to stress that man, his music just really makes any movie like 10 times more epic.
Yep. Yeah, it's perfect for this film too. It's I don't know, man. This movie was kind of a breath of fresh air when it came out. I think it really was offering something different. With that being said,
Yeah.
you know, you got a whole gang of baddies here, led up by Clarence and who else you got. But there's one name that eludes everybody through most of the movie. And I just found this so hilarious last night when I actually caught it, because the first scene when Murphy and Lewis go to the old warehouse to catch the bad guys,
Yeah.
one of the main henchmen is over taking care of business. He's using the bathroom. Lewis comes up behind him and he turns around, and
I know where you're going with this.
he's holding his hands up, and she says, he says freeze, and he says, well, can I zip this up? And she kind of looks down, and he punches her in the face. Well, later on, when Robocop is realizing
Yeah.
who these people are, and it pulls up that dude's name, his name is Joe P.
Cox. Yeah.
Joe P. Cox.
That's actually a line that I got down too, is mind if I zip this up?
Zip this up.
And that's the other thing I like about Lewis, is that like she's all business, but like she can't help but to look. She's like,
Right.
just gonna peek down, and then punched in the face.
And knocked off that ledge and landed on a bunch of like cross ties, almost like the death of the fake Jason from Friday the 13th Part 5.
Yeah, and then Joe Cox shows back up with the other guys, and he's like, "Yeah, she was so sweet, I had to take her out." Yeah, that guy's actually
hilarious.
pretty entertaining. And he's the first to
is.
go.
Yeah. So that's my reason, Joe P. Cox.
That's a good reason. That's a good reason. So my next reason is, whenever you have a dark Avenger movie, you have to have somebody who says at least 5 times, "We killed you." And that was there's that gas station scene where that plane geometry thing comes in.
Right.
You know, the guy's reading
That's
it,
right.
and the guy's like, "Oh, you think you're smarter than me? Can you outsmart a bullet?" You know, he's that kind of guy. And RoboCop shows up, and he recognizes
like-
his chin. And he's like, "Wait a minute, we killed you! We killed you!"
It's almost like Bill Paxton was busy that day, so they couldn't get him. So they got this redheaded dude, you know?
Yeah, he looked familiar, but I don't know what I've seen him in.
Yeah.
He's just
Great
that
scene.
guy.
And that leads
so
to the
we killed
the
you
whole-
scene.
Him pulling back the memories of these people that knocked him off when he was alive. And when he walks into the data banks, and he does the old R2-D2 thing, except it's this long spike that comes out of his hands, and he just punches it into like a drive location or whatever, and it starts reading the memory, and he starts pulling up all these people's faces, and Joe P. Cox is there.
That's
and this
right.
dude's name is Emil, is the guy that gets we killed you, that guy.
Yeah, that guy, Emil. Yeah, and he's actually the guy that gets toxic wasted too.
Man, yeah, what a scene.
Oh, it's rough.
Hey, and it's the only scene where you see RoboCop kind of hustle. Because the rest of the time he's walking real slow, but when that truck's coming at him, he's like high stepping.
Yeah, he moves like you said. Jason Voorhees is kind of got the same thing. He's like, he moves with a purpose, and then he shows up over here. Yeah, it's kind of silly, but he's got a gun, so it makes it a little more realistic that he could just off some people.
Yeah. I've got the drug warehouse scene where Clarence Boddicker and his bunch goes into the guys that are dealing with all the coke. And they're trying to make a deal, which is a great scene. That whole scene is fantastic. Then RoboCop comes in and starts showing his shooting skills. I've just always loved that whole scene. And gets his hands on Clarence, Boddicker and finds out the truth behind everything of who's really, behind all the crime sprees and everything that's going on. Yeah, man, just the setup is fantastic in this thing. But I've always been impressed with that scene where he walks in and he's just like knocking people off left and right. He's even doing like non-look shots, right? He's just pointing off to the side and shooting people, not even turning his head. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, years before Hawkeye did it in Avengers, Robocop was doing it, right?
That's right.
Because he's got that visor. I mean, he could be looking in all directions.
Mm-hmm.
Except he's got eyes behind the visor. Anyway, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The next thing I've got is Clarence Boddicker's got a real Tommy Lee Jones kind of vibe in that scene in the warehouse where he's like,
"Oh yeah,
show the man what we brought him for Christmas," and he's got kind of like a down home country a-hole kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole warehouse scene where they're packing up all the coke in little vials and then the guy gets into the talk with Clarence Boddicker, and then RoboCop shows up and brings it all to a stop.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
We're not even going to talk about the drug scenes in RoboCop 2, because I mean that would take all day. But
yeah, we'll do that whenever we do RoboCop 2.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which may happen soon. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. Anyway, my next reason is I love that there is a big special effects piece in the commercial for the 6000 SUX car. It's a straight up, like you said, it's a Harryhausen, stop motion, and not a Harryhausen, but it's like it, stop motion dinosaur walking through the streets of the city, and what should scare him, but the 6000 SUX, this big old Cadillac parked in the middle of the road, is like, oh no, 6000 SUX. I mean, it like they had to have spent money on that commercial. Like, it's great. And it's just in the middle of the movie. Like, hey, by the way, that car we're talking about, here's a commercial for it.
I'm glad you brought that up, because the people that did that commercial is the Chiodo brothers, which are the guys that did Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh yeah,
and they also built the giant King Cobra in the King Cobra movie, and they're all over the place. They're a special effects team, and that's their work. They actually made that commercial to put in the movie.
And so was Pat Morita the voice of the dinosaur?
Is that all you got?
So let me get this. I'm a dinosaur?
So yeah, I think that commercial is fantastic. It's one of those standout moments for sure, because you keep hearing about the car through the whole thing, and then you actually see a commercial for it. It's just a good way to tie it in.
Joe Cox even dries up in one.
Yeah, he does. Which brings up my next reason to watch this movie, which is the Cobra assault cannon.
Oh man, that thing's so ridiculous. It's true.
So yeah, like you said, Joe P. Cox pulls up in a 6000 SUX, just like the one that Clarence Boddicker is driving, and all the baddies are like, "Oh man, look, Joe's got a car just like yours. What do you think about that?"
It's still got the sticker in the window, because obviously
still got
you
the
just
sticker
stole it
on
from
the window. And Clarence just reaches into the back seat of the car, pulls out this extremely long, stupid gun, shoots the car, and it just blows the whole car up. Oh man, what's that? It's the Cobra assault cannon. And he's got like 3 or 4 of them. And they're just going to town, man. They're blowing up stores, cars.
They're like the bounty hunter gun from the first Critters, not the way they look, but the way they shoot something and the whole thing just explodes. Basically, whatever would have been in the whole area just like goes up in flames.
There you go again, man. The Chiodo brothers did the Critters characters.
Did they?
Did the creatures, yeah.
Well, that's something I like.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like that whole scene with the Cobra assault cannon too, because they're like, "Hey, he's got a car like yours," and you can tell it kind of miffs Clarence Boddicker. So he goes and gets the gun. He's like, "Oh, look what I got," and then dude's like, "Wait, that's my car, man." He just blows it up. But then he gives everybody a gun, and they go around just shooting storefronts and fire hydrants and people.
It's awesome.
They're terrible. They're the worst kind of people.
And then later on, when we get past towards the last 10 minutes of this film is a throwdown, man. It is awesome. But even RoboCop gets his hands on one of these and uses it on a Ed 209, and it's just like an at walker, man. I mean, or an at because they shoot it and just the legs are still standing up. Everything else is gone.
Yeah.
Good
So-
stuff.
The next thing I've got is the man on the street interviews.
Oh, that dude.
I mean, there's only two of them, but like, they're saying, well, what are you going to do if the police decide to go on strike? And one guy's like, it's job security to have crime. They shouldn't be allowed to strike, And then the other guy's like, it says, so and so homeless, and he's like, well, what are you going to do? It's
We gonna do, man.
and just like they've got some asshole reporter on the street, with a microphone, just finding whoever's out there and asking him about this police strike. It's hilarious. It goes into the whole TV spots thing too, where it's kind of like something you might see, but they've tweaked it to be in this world, and I just really like it.
And of course, you've got the scenario here too, where the main bad guy that's working for OCP, they built in a program into Robocop where Robocop cannot cause any harm or arrest somebody that works for OCP. So, he goes and tries to stop the guy early on because he finds out the whole story. And, he ends up getting ambushed by all the police officers. But it's funny because when he's trying to arrest him, it just freezes him and he's like all locked up. And, but later on in the return of this, after he kills all the baddies and goes back up to the guy, he's got the old owner of OCP at gunpoint.
Yeah.
And the owner says, "You're fired." And so when he's fired, he gets out of the way, and RoboCop just blasts him away out the window. Can you fly, Bobby?
So if there was one complaint I've got about the movie, actually. The secret fourth directive is a cool premise, but I got to say, Peter Weller, like, I don't know what direction he was given when it was like, now the fourth directive is keeping you from arresting this guy. And he's kind of like doing some kind of modern dance, He's like,
exactly.
I can't move because of the directive. It's weird, and I wish it wasn't there. But
well, there's that, and then there's when he shoots the dude out the window and he's falling. There's some pretty bad effects right there too.
Oh man, his arms are so long.
It's like he stretches out.
Let's see, the next thing and the last thing that I have, I mean, I'm sure I'll think of something, but the next thing and the last thing I have feeds right into what you just said. The boardroom killing scene at the end of this movie is perfect in every possible way.
Yep.
I mean, he goes in there and the bad guy proves himself to be a bad guy, and he grabs the other guy and he gets fired and he gets shot out the window. And like, while he's getting shot out the window, the executive that's been kind of the third guy in line the whole time, who was eating the baby food earlier, like, because he thought it was funny. Like, he's just smiling, like, the whole time. He's like, oh, this can't go badly for me, And so when dude, like, goes out the window, I'm like, this whole showdown at the end was just perfect. Because, like, he goes over and he jams the interface, blade into the bank of televisions. And, of course, all of them populate with that guy saying, oh, I had to kill Bobby because he made a mistake. I had to kill Bobby because he made a mistake. They're like, oh, how could you kill Bobby? I mean, they watched dudes getting killed in that room. It's just when it's one of them that it matters. But, then he's like, you're fired. And he, like, breaks away and, RoboCop shoots him out the window. It's awesome.
Yeah. Between that and, of course, the whole showdown at the mill yard, it's just great, man. I mean, there's not a lagging piece in this movie. It moves so well, and it keeps you interested. You want to say, well, this is the best part of the movie, but really, there's really not a bad part. Is there some small glitches in it? Sure. I mean, some effects don't hold up, but there's small little pieces versus the overall impact of this film. I was absolutely blown away how well it still stands up.
And when I was a teenager, we watched this, and I gotta say, dude getting in the toxic waste, man. We didn't mention it like per se, but he this guy like goes to hit RoboCop, and RoboCop steps out of the way, and the van like hits this big drum labeled toxic waste, and this smoky acid like rolls through the whole van, and then the guy comes out, and he's like got, you know, his nose is melting off, and he's like, and then he gets hit by a vehicle later, and he just like explodes.
Man. Oh God,
It is so nasty.
It's like something out of a trauma film, really. I mean,
It is.
It's that level of gross, you know. And
And it
even
was-
when he walks up to to that one dude, and he's like, "Help me!" And he's like, "No!"
Yeah. Yeah, you know that guy. What was his name? Leon Nash. But the actors in, you know, Twin Peaks,
Right.
that guy always plays a jerk, and he does it so well.
And there's a scene where he's in the discotheque where RoboCop finds him, and he's like dancing with Lady Gaga. I don't know if you saw her or not, but it's who it looked like he was dancing with.
I was just
But,
amazed at the fact that it looked like that dance hall was like a laser tag arena or something with red walls
Yeah.
and stuff.
I don't know. I had a blast watching this, man.
I'm thinking about watching it again right now.
I'm gonna watch it again right now.
But I think that we probably need to bring up TJ Laser.
Yes, absolutely.
So, you know,
Go ahead.
Saturday morning used to have shows, and I imagine one of the shows in this world was TJ Laser, some kind of like a Brave Star kind of future Western cop with, you know, quick draw laser action. And for that reason, RoboCop always spins his gun, and that's how Lewis is like, wait, I know that guy.
Right.
But it's just another one of those fun things. You know, there's a little flashback of him seeing his son watching TJ Laser and saying, Dad, can you do that? Can you do that? You know, like, I'm
And
gonna try.
how awesome is it where his holster is inside of his leg? I think I
Yeah.
always thought that was so cool.
I always thought that was cool too. You know, they probably could have saved the leg, but like, no, we need holsters, man.
I mean, and the list goes on of great scenes. The target practice, you know, when he's in there and he's shooting, everybody stops shooting to watch him shoot.
Yeah,
It
because
just
he's
goes-
got that semi-automatic pistol.
Yeah, it just goes on and on. I mean, it's good scene after good scene after great scene after great scene.
What about when his son comes up to him at breakfast and he's like, Dad, I'm not going to do hamster style anymore. that was good.
Okay.
That was pretty good stuff.
Hail Ming.
So what do you say, man? You want to go to rating time?
I think it's rating time.
Rating time.
Rating time.
All right, man. What you give it?
Man, I think you got to stand him up against the wall to do it. But I'm going to give this movie 5 Cobra assault cannons.
I'm gonna give it 270. Bitches leave.
Bitches leave. So polite. He's
Yes, he's a classy dude, right?
Bring him home to your parents.
Right. So, Brian Blessed, as always, what do you think of 1987's RoboCop? Die! Well, that was short.
He had like a band behind him too. You know, he's busy nowadays. That's been the problem with Hail Ming is getting Brian Blessed to come in, and he's only in for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, maybe we can do a little better on that. We can find some other ways to get him involved here. If you folks out there, if you have any ideas of how we can get Brian Blessed more involved in the show, keep them to yourself, because we're going to figure out something.
But seriously, everybody out there, if you happen to find yourself with some spare time in these crazy quarantine days, check out RoboCop, man. I don't know if
Absolutely.
it's streaming anywhere because I had it already, but man, go find it, watch it, enjoy it, man. It's good stuff.
I'm hoping, and it's a weird thing to hope, but I'm hoping there is somebody out there who has not seen the original RoboCop that is going to check it out because we recommend it, and they come back going, you know what? You guys are right. This movie's awesome. And if you haven't watched it in a while, and you did like we did, and you just kind of said, yeah, it's RoboCop, go back and watch it again, man. I promise you're going to walk away going, you know what? This thing still really holds up.
I know that Matthew Tangen's going to go out and watch it.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a huge Verhoeven fan.
sure.
Bring your kid along, man, and record it. I can't wait to hear how that goes.
All right, we're going to take a little short break. We'll be right back. Hey, I want to take this time to invite you and your whole family to come down to the brand new, reopened Clarence Boddica's skydiving retreat. That's right, it's a retreat that's a real treat. When Clarence Boddica started this thing, he's all about facing your fears. And this is where you can face your fear as well. Jump into one of our highly new ventilated planes. Man up and be ready to jump. God, I don't know how far it is. It's a long way down. But you can do it right here at the Clarence Boddica skydiving retreat. So if you are a newbie, don't worry about it. Our highly trained staff will help you all the way down to the ground. And if you're one that just does this all the time, yeah, we'll take you too. Just come on, jump in the plane and jump to your heart's content. And we didn't forget about your kids either. We got special stuff for them as well. We got little arm bracelets that they can get that says, Clarence Boddica shoved me out of a plane, and you can buy that for $1. And you got questions about safety gear? Yeah, we got all that if you're some kind of pansy or something. Like I said, just load on up, bring your sorry self down here and your rugrats, jump out of plane, have a good time. You never know. You may...
You ever had a problem you just couldn't solve with conventional means? Needed something a little extra? Let me introduce you to a little friend. The Cobra Assault Cannon. But don't take my word for it. How about a rap legend? Tasty Taste. How do you use the Cobra?
Well, sometimes you gotta take out stuff like a bus or a building.
How about a man on the go? Don't lean on the old faithful minigun. That takes too long.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Cobra Assault Cannon. Choice of thugs and hoodlums everywhere. From OCP Industries. Buy yours today.
Minotaur, he is stronger than anyone. Rows a ship really fast, grabs a spear, stabs your ass. Look out, stronger than any other. He's really one bad mother. Here comes the Minotaur. When we last left Minotaur, Dr. Klon and Shiki were robbing a bank in downtown Detroit. Shiki, this vault is much stronger than I figured it would be.
I'm sure you'll figure it out, Dr. Klon.
If I only had the right tools, this would go much quicker, Shiki.
I know, Dr. Klon. Let's get Minotaur to do it.
Great idea, Shiki. Minotaur, come here a minute. Minotaur, I need you to bust open this vault. You think you can do that for me? Fantastic! Stand back, Shiki. Almost there.
Dr. Klon, a police car.
No worries, Minotaur will take care of it.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Dr. Klon, he shot him right in the...
Oh, that's gotta hurt. Oh well. We got the money. Good job, Minotaur.
See you later, Minotaur.
You are under arrest. You have the right to remain silent.
Stronger than any other. He's really one bad mother. Here comes the Minotaur. Well, we hope that you enjoyed this time with us talking about one of our favorite movies and hopefully one of yours, Robocop from 1987. I had a blast putting this together with Rick here, and I can't wait
see what comes next. I mean, if it's RoboCop 2, so be it. But whatever it's going to be, I hope it's a pale comparison to this movie, because I so enjoyed it.
Yeah. And like we say, as always, if you've got some ideas or comments of this movie or any other movie that you kind of want to talk about with us, want our input on it, or even want us to kind of cover it, feel free to share that on the Facebook pages and all that kind of stuff. We enjoy getting the feedback. It's kind of why we do all this. We don't really care about hearing ourselves talk, but it's all about just reaching out and keeping our community going at this point right now. So, have at you. Bring it on. Let's see what you got.
Right. And, yeah, we do a lot of joking as far as keep your opinions to yourself. But, Rick's absolutely right. We don't do it. If it was just us talking, then we just, do a phone call together and talk about this stuff. But we want to put it out there, and we value the fact that it's entertaining to people. And it's whole part of the persona to say, we don't care what you have to say. We really, really kind of do.
Yeah,
I do.
We do. We're just too lazy to do anything about it.
That's a good point. That's an excellent point.
That's kind of the point, right?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. So, do you have anything you wanna promote? You have anything coming up?
No, not really. Just look for more Hail Ming, man. I mean, this is fun getting back in here and being more steady with our content. We kind of lose that the communication when we don't do this show. We kind of end up staying distant, and I don't like that. So this is a good way for us to stay in touch. Me and Danny is what I'm talking about. And I don't know, man. It just makes it more fun for me.
I agree. It's a good time, and I think we both tried. You've been more successful at producing, solo projects.
Well, I wouldn't say successful. I've attempted, and then I go, crap, that's too much work.
How about you've actually managed to succeed in putting together some solo projects?
Well.
I think the best I can do really is skits, and I can occasionally do a little bit, but yeah, it's a lot of work, and it gets lonely. So I really do enjoy the camaraderie. It makes it all worth doing.
Oh, yeah.
So without anything else, we're glad that you're with us on this, and keep watching the page. We'll keep trying to make it entertaining. Keep promoting your own stuff on it, and hopefully we can share the ears around, and everybody gets a good entertaining benefit from us all networking together. And in this time, when you're trying to stay safe, just stay safe.
And the whole point is we put this together to share with you, and we hope that you share this with other people as well. That's the best thing you can do if you like this show, to help get the word out there of this show. Just share it with other people.
Yeah, we're not going to charge anything.
Not yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. You got 3 friends, so that's $9.99 per person, and then there's a surcharge for bandwidth.
And don't forget to charge them for the Hail Ming app, which we haven't even talked about making yet, but we can go ahead and charge them for it.
How about just the Hail Ming amp? The Hail Ming amp, like you stick it outside your house and it's just our voices yelling at people?
What about the Hail Ming imp?
The Hail Ming imp. I can't seem to say Ming without saying Mink. What about the Hail Ming Mink?
The Hail Mink Mink.
The Hail Mink stole. It's like, it looks like Max von Sydow as Ming the Merciless, but it's like a weasel you wrap around your neck.
Man, we just found a whole bunch of new commercials for the show.
Hail Ming stole. I'm still kind of excited about
you got to make it to the top, Robocop.
I'm still kind of excited about the Robocop montage. I know it wasn't that kind of movie, but now I kind of want to see it. Just like just that the professor lady with the giant glasses checking things off of a clipboard after everything. That would make it for me.
You were dead, but now you're alive. You're pumping all through your muscles.
Oh, you're gonna kill me.
All right, maybe we ought to get out of here.
Yeah, I think it's time to say goodbye. So, on behalf of all of us over here at Hail Ming Productions, enjoy your next few days, and have a good one.
Adios.
Once in a lifetime, you meet the right partner, someone who helps you see why you started helping people in the first place. he can help you reassess and get back on track. Then, he can get blown to bits by criminals and put back together by a heartless corporation. It's a little like a modern Cinderella story. Well, so long, Minions. Stay safe, and remember, actions speak louder than catchphrases. Good night, everybody.
Open fire! Open fire!
Members of the audience will receive the following: classic curves by Dittos, the pants for feel-good company, a gift certificate from Maru-chan Ramen Noodles, Rice-A-Roni. All guests receive a copy of the Hail Ming home game. Thanks to the creative minds and special appearances of Mark Allison, Jeremy Finch, and Jacob Kennedy. Hail Ming is a proud member of Legion Podcasts. Check out all the great shows at legionpodcast.com. Hail Ming is available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and Legion Podcast. This is Dan Pardo saying good night.